2 by track speed.
I've always been a fan of genre movies, and I think that something that intrigued me with this movie is that it's not a gore fest. It's just very scary and I think suspenseful due to the nature of the story.
Oh, God, I'm starving.
What? What is it? What is it? What?
It's getting more.
Joe Gangemi and I have been friends for a long time, and we both write a lot of horror movies, and we've been kicking around ideas for years. He had this story about priests giving last rites to some kids who died in a car accident, and I had an idea about doing the world's smallest haunted house movie, which was 2 people set in a car, and the car is haunted. And somehow we put these ideas together, and we got Windchill.
You can plan all you want whenever you're doing a project, but there's still some surprises that come along. And the big one for me was how quickly I came to really like these characters, these unnamed characters. It's a very controversial topic of why no names. We wanted to make this story sort of the essence of Ghost Story. And let's explore the kind of simplicity of 2 people in a broken down car as your essential setting. Let's just try and figure out who they are in this little slice of their lives that we see.
The 2 of them are the entire movie, and they have to carry the whole movie, and that's why we needed such good actors.
Greg?
Yes?
So am I holding it here for quite a while?
I read it in like an hour and then had a completely sleepless night. And I woke up in the morning, I thought, this is really something I want to do. You know, it's a good sign that off the page, it's frightening. And it's a character piece, you know, it's a real character story. Great roles, you know, for young people to play, and awkward and quirky and real.
You get a look at that face? Moody? What?
At the core of this horror story is, you know, a true dynamic between 2 real people, and I think that's really what stood out for me. And obviously the unique thing about horror is that there are things happening to the characters in the script that wouldn't be happening to anybody in their normal life. But, you know, if we want people to identify with their struggle, we have to make them as real as we can.
So here's what I'm thinking. He's in the front.
I'm just somebody who likes a challenge, I think, and I think it inspired me, the script, to kind of try something new. It's that disabling fear that I don't think I've ever really experienced, and so you just channel as much as you know and let it escalate.
It's okay. Stop, please stop. It's okay.
Not only were they able to match each other in terms of acting, I mean, they sort of knocked the ball back and forth. They're both equal to the task, but there really was genuine chemistry between the 2 of them. Quite apparent early on screen, which is just elevates the whole thing.
Can we get stopped off?
He feels heavier tonight.
What do you mean clear people?
Someone ran us off the road.
There's no parking here.
No, we're not.
What are you talking about? Didn't you hear what she said?
Someone ran us off the road.
Of course, I might be willing to let you off with a warning this time, if we can come to some sort of arrangement.
It's fun playing this guy because I don't think I've played anything quite like this. The interesting aspect for me is Greg and I talked about him sort of snapping in and out of his memories of his mortal self. He's stuck in a sort of a time warp of when he was alive.
You're not going anywhere!
Martin is really terrifying on screen, and Martin brings levels of secrecy and deviousness and a kind of chilling calm to the role of this highway patrolman. He did it with stillness and with a particularly glassy, icy stare.
Cut. Okay, still rolling. Put the ball in.
That was great. Are you okay?
Still rolling.
When first reading this script, I thought, no problem. Piece of cake. 2 people in a car on the side of a road. No big deal. And then I read it again. And all of a sudden, it started to go through my mind. The variables, the logistics. And I took a deep breath and went, uh-oh. This is going to be a hell of a ride.
Oh, my God!
It's an extremely complicated movie to film. Incredibly difficult because of shooting on location and shooting on the stage and shooting in a refrigeration box. Every scene has to be broken up into numerous parts, filmed one part there, another part there, 3-4 weeks later, and another part there, another 2 weeks after that. All three of them in 3 different environments, separated by time, weather, every variable you can think of in the filming process. For a director to keep that in his brain is a task beyond most mortal beings. Greg's ability to keep grasp of that throughout the entire process has astounded me.
I was sort of terrified by the idea of a movie in which probably 60% of the story takes place in a car, and I wasn't exactly sure how to do that.
And we cut.
It was certainly challenging to figure out how to keep the stuff in the car interesting. And, you know, fortunately, they're such good actors. They were interesting to watch. You know, what I hoped to do was just put the viewer in the car with them or in sort of the situations with them without trying to be self-conscious with the camera. But certainly there were times where I felt like, I can't believe I have to film another day in a car. You know?
Oh, there's the ruins of an old house or something up on the hill. Our production designer, Howard Cummings, has just been amazing. He built like sort of a deserted house, and I just remember the first time that I saw the house and saw it dressed with like the ghosts. It was like a 3-dimensional work of art.
That was a lot of fun to build because we had to engineer it so that it looked like it was falling, but actually, you know, the entire crew could shoot in it. We could do what we needed to do. We designed it so that he could pull the camera all the way through the cabin, sections of the cabin just sort of pull away so that as the guy is searching through the wreckage of the cabin, the camera just sort of drifts through, and he's having to work to get through, but the camera sort of, like a ghost, kind of slides through.
His sets are so eerie and stark. You know, for example, like the car is just everybody's worst nightmare of, you know, sharing a car with somebody, and that's the car you end up riding in. And I just thought all the attention to details, like chewing gum stuck under the dash and like stuff all over the floor, and it's filthy, and it literally really helped because I got into the car for the first time. I was like, this is so unpleasant. It's like, you feel like you're breathing in dust and immediately. And so, you know, he creates these very intimate kind of detailed spaces, and then these huge sweeping sets of the stretch of road and all the kind of trees that he added in, and it was just, it's a very eerie kind of atmosphere in which to shoot that he created for us.
We're urging residents to remain indoors as temperatures will plunge overnight with a wind chill reaching 30 degrees below zero.
Obviously, the weather's really important for this movie. So we really had to find a location that was going to be some really harsh conditions. So we ended up shooting about 5 hours north of Vancouver, this town called Summerland. And don't be fooled by its sweet-sounding name.
I worked with a location manager for 3-4 months to find this location, and it was really a challenge. It had to be a certain width of road. It had to be surrounded by a certain type and style of trees. It had to be something that we could close, literally, put blockades on both ends of the road for 3 months. In its stillness, it's haunted at night when it's lit. It's a stunning location. The logistics of it are horrendous. It's at the top of a 30-minute drive up a mountain, up a closed mining road. It is like working with 150 people and 40 large pieces of equipment, trucks, scaffolds, all kinds of pieces of movable equipment in a corridor that's about 6 feet wide, because it's a road with no other road running parallel to it. So the entire road being a set, once you have a piece of equipment on one side of the set, you can't move it to the other side of the set because you're driving through shot on snow that has to be pristine for the shot.
It was actually kind of tricky because everything happens in one spot, so you have to find this one spot where you can make everything work. And our spot had to have a ravine next to it and a hill on the opposite bank.
That ravine killed me. That ravine killed me. It was like, it was so steep. It's, because it has to look like you might not be able to get down it. I mean, it has to be steep enough to the point where you may fall, but kind of not to the point where you actually will fall, you know, hopefully, if you try and remain pretty sure-footed. But it was just up and down, up and down, up and down, and my thighs were killing me. But, you know, everyone kept saying buns of steel by the end of it, and I was like, yeah, just keep that in mind, keep that in mind. But no, I think I pulled every single muscle in my body on this one.
This movie should have been called Apocalypse Snow, because it was a real challenge weather-wise.
We got no engine, okay? We got no heat.
It was compounded by the cold, snowstorms, windstorms, everything you could possibly imagine.
Even the texture of the snow was challenging because one day it would be icy, the next day it would be fluffy, or it'd be coming down, dumping down, and then we'd have no snow.
You can't even see the falling snow.
We had to manufacture snow because it wasn't snowing every day, and like, you know, we'd have like these huge wind machines blowing snow to like fill the screen, and the wind machines were huge. I mean, they were like, you know, 8 foot around, and they were really loud.
It's blowing in your face and you're going like that, you know, and trying not to open your mouth too much because it goes down the back of your throat and it chokes you.
When every day you went up that hill to go to work, something new was coming down.
We were reenacting March of the Penguins live action. I mean, we're barely recognizable. Everybody's got their full parkas on, hoods up to here.
The worst night, it was 28 below, and you know, I'm out there in this costume, so I just was not protected, and I'd be out there like trying to like deliver these lines, and it was so cold that I just was like, I was losing all like I just couldn't concentrate. Like I had a hard time remembering what my next line was, and there were moments up there I was so cold where it wasn't acting, it was just me responding to like these harsh weather conditions.
You know, after the first week it was like -8, -10, it was completely bearable, but the first week for some reason was like 25 below, and your jaw like locks out and you're trying to like say the lines and it's like, and I couldn't even speak and your hands like freeze into claws. It was unbelievable. I've never felt cold like that in my life. Never. And people's eyelashes froze. You know, people would be in these balaclavas and their eyelashes were white. You know, it was that cold.
We struggled through it, but we got through it. And the actors and the crew and everybody really pulled together, and it was, you know, we managed to have fun. And
Some black market parka.
you know, there was this kind of camaraderie on the set of we're all sort of in this together, freezing our asses off.
I think the biggest challenge in approaching the design of this project was how we lit it. Doing nighttime shooting is difficult when there's no light sources. You have to sort of have, you know, quote unquote moonlight. So part of the design of the set and the location had to also incorporate how we were going to conceivably light this location.
And we came up with that crazy idea about putting a construction crane in the middle of the set and just hang a big moon box around that. And of course everybody says we were crazy in the beginning, but that was the way we did it.
We're talking about a massive crane up a mountain where winds can go from, you know, 20 miles an hour to 70 miles an hour, and a huge lighting rig off the top of that. I've never seen anything like that in all my born days.
And it created this sort of incredible, gigantic softbox, essentially. And so it was fantastic because it enabled us to really move quickly, 30 days or something to shoot the movie. I think it was about 22 days on location. And then we were on stage for about 8 days. Let's rehearse it. The refrigerated set was definitely my idea, much to the dismay of, I think, a number of the people, the cast and the crew. I felt it was important to be able to see the breath when we were shooting the stage stuff. Bigger eye thing. You never hear me say bigger.
I've never heard you say bigger.
No, I just feel like it could be cool to like.
We took this part of the set that was where the car crashed and created this sort of plastic framed box, and had a big air conditioning company come in and put these huge coolers into the box and humidified it so that you could actually see your breath.
Here's what I'm thinking. He's in the front. You left him in the front. And also I felt like the actors needed to be cold. It would hurt the movie if you're not seeing breath in the car.
We figured we were finally done with these harsh weather conditions, and you know, we'd go into a nice, warm, cozy soundstage back in Vancouver, only to be greeted with basically a giant refrigerator. I don't know the exact temperature of that icebox on the stage, but it was cold, and every chance I got, I hopped out of the icebox.
I mean, there was a lot of people in a small place, and it was very, very cold, but it worked.
And action.
The next time I read a script and the word snow appears in it, I might just set it quietly aside.
They couldn't have gotten stuck in a sandbank outside of Palm Springs.
I promised everyone involved when they were freezing up on the mountain that the next one will take place in the Caribbean.
Yeah, I can't handle any more negative 28. It's not for me.
My next movie will be entitled Easy Breeze. And yeah, it'll be shot somewhere in the Caribbean, and but with the same crew. And get to see everyone in their Bermuda shorts for a change instead of their snow jackets.